Do you have a book, maybe a piece of literature or something you recommend? And it doesn't have to be a business book, but it's something that has been impactful to you.
I will share with you, and this is not a business book.
Yeah, no,
But
actually I prefer non-business.
I will tell you that for some reason, I read Bruce Springsteen's Born to Run. I'm not drawn to his music,
Right.
but I know that his fans are just super devoted,
Yeah.
and I'm very curious. I was curious to find out more. So I thought, when his book came out, I thought, I'm going to read it. I loved his book.
Wow.
And I loved his book because he wrote it because he said he wanted the fans to know where his music came from. And I think that in this book that he pulled together, it really shows somebody who was really passionate about finding out his own identity. Where does he come from and who is he? About creating his own path. Somebody who really holds himself to a strong code, his own personal code, and has an amazing work ethic that is just unbelievable. And I think that's when you hear people who are huge Bruce fans, they talk about how his concerts are just this unbelievable thing. So again, I wasn't drawn to his music, but I think that being curious about who is this person that can be so magnetic, that people are so devoted to him. And I think, again, in leadership, that's what leaders do, right?
Right.
And I was curious just to maybe peel it back and find out what's underneath the hood,
Yeah.
right? And so I love the book for that reason.
Oh, well, I'm going to go get it and read it.
Well, I just think it was really interesting.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any final advice that you'd like to share with leaders, emerging leaders, or anyone?
I do. I think right now, and maybe a little bit about describing Bruce's book is a little bit an example of it, a small example of it. But I think that in our world today, there's so much change that's going on, and it's exciting. I mean, I think if I was a 20-something right now, if you are curious, if you have ideas or ambition and are drawn to things, there's so many tools that are out there. You don't need a lot of others to make something happen. When we grew up, radio was programmed, TV was programmed, like all of it, right? And all that's busted down now, and you can really make opportunities happen and things come to life. And I just think that's super exciting. Everything from 3D printing to what we're doing today of our own generating your own content to making money off of YouTube on how to apply makeup. I mean, whatever your passion is, like, you can make it happen. But I think the area that we need to maybe work a little harder as individuals is seeking to understand. We live in a world where there's a lot of chasms and gaps, and and fears starting to fall into that place.
Yes.
And I think we're losing our capabilities to disagree. I think we're losing our capability to critically look at things and filter them out and distill it down to what's important.
Right.
And we're definitely bombarded with so much information. So my ask to people is how can you in your life do more to bridge gaps and to be curious enough and open enough to hear somebody else's point of view and to seek to understand. And you don't have to agree. Seeking to understand where somebody comes from or why they're doing something doesn't mean that you agree with it.
Right.
It just means that you see or can kind of get where they're coming from,
Right.
and you understand what's below it all. And I think we need more of that. I just think it's super powerful right now, from everything like the reaction of the NFL players to the anthems to, pick your own thing. It's like we're getting to a place of fear, and even greater than fear, where people can't even talk about differences without things going crazy.
Yeah, everything is polarized.
Yeah, and it's just like, whatever happened to just asking somebody like, dude, what's going on?
Right.
Like, why is that important to you? And just hearing it. Like, you don't need to do anything with it, but to just hear that person out or to see something from a different perspective, it's so valuable. And there's a lot of things that are happening where we quickly go to violence or some other place when we can't have debate